What's going on, everybody? My name is Cruz and welcome back to another video. This is part 3 of me reacting to your pedal boards. Before we get started, please do all of the things that help this channel grow. Like this video, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you get an alert every single time I upload a video. Without further ado, let's get started. Let me start off by saying once again how blown away I am by how many people actually contribute to these videos. This is part 3. I honestly thought that at some point I'd just start reacting to pedal boards that I randomly would find on the internet or on social media, but I've gotten so many submissions I essentially had to create a series, which is the reacting to your pedal boards. And I can't believe we're at part 3, essentially episode 3. Thank you all so much for your submissions. This is something that I personally enjoy doing, so if you are still interested in submitting your pedal board for a reaction, please feel free to email me at jcruzproject@gmail.com. You can also find me on social media at jcruzproject on everything, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and you could send me a direct message from there as well. Well, these videos tend to be kind of lengthy, so we're just gonna jump right into it. This first submission came via Instagram. I'm not entirely sure of his actual name. This may just be his handle, but I believe it's Ax Rivera, and I'll put the handle right there on the screen. This is a beautiful submission. He sent this over and it looks like to be some sort of custom board with a custom topper. He's using the Boss MS3 as his sort of heartbeat, which I really love. He's got some familiar faces for me personally, like the JHS Morning Glory going into the kilt. He's got a timeline and a Boss RV, which are really great. Looks like he's going stereo out of the simplified, which is really interesting. I've never tried that particular pedal or product, so I'm very interested in what it would sound like. So that's probably my one question to you. What does it sound like, and how does it compare to some of the other direct products like the HX Stomp or the Kemper, in your humble opinion? This next submission came via Instagram from JOAQUIN. JOAQUIN sent me a very interesting rig. This is a nylon and electric guitar rig. So somehow he combines both sounds and uses the same pedal board to be able to get different tones from the same rig, as opposed to maybe having two separate pedal boards. Very interesting. I obviously don't play much electric or acoustic guitar in general, especially plugged into a pedal board, so I'm not 100% familiar with all of the pedals that are on here. However, I do enjoy seeing pedals that I don't often see on pedal boards. Much like the pedal that you see over to the right there, it's that green pedal. I think it's called the Bonsai. I can't remember, from JHS. They basically put every kind of tube screamer you could ever think of. It comes with a lot of different tones. If you are a tube screamer person like I am, that's a must-have, especially if you're indecisive. I think that's a great version to have, so you can try them all in one, in one casing. So to pull off a rig like this, I'm assuming that some pedals are in a specific line and others aren't. I see there's an A/B switch there for Morley, so obviously you have your acoustic setup set one way and your electric setup another way. So this looks, and I'm sure sounds really great, and the best part about this is how functional it is, especially for your particular situation. You obviously need both rigs to coexist, and you found a way to do it seamlessly and quite neatly, so kudos to you. Thank you for submitting. This next submission came via Instagram as well. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do not want to butcher your name, so I'm gonna just put the Instagram handle right there on the screen. You did mention this was a bit messy, but it works for you, and you know what? That's exactly what counts. You see messy, I see someone who's hard at work with kind of just constantly tone searching, leaving their pedal board somewhat of an open book so they can continue searching, putting in pedals, taking pedals out of the chain. So trust me when I tell you, messy is not always a problem. It's sometimes a necessary thing, especially if you're doing a lot of work and you're doing a lot of tone chasing. What I love about your rig is that this is a setup that I would have easily chosen for myself, especially if I had to like choose pedals blindly without playing through them or hearing them first. I would immediately gravitate to what I know, and I know every single product on your pedal board. Everything from the compression by the Deep Six to the Morning Glory to the Moonshine. You have a red remote, so I'm assuming you're controlling the Morning Glory's red and blue option. You have a TU tuner, the Ernie Ball volume pedal, the Boss DD500 into a Strymon Cloud. These are all products that I've used personally, and I know for a fact that they sound amazing. So yeah, this is a great rig. I know you think it's a little bit messy, but I honestly think that you're capturing tones perfectly with this rig. Now, I do see you're going into a Joyo American, so I'm curious to know if that is the amp that you're using, because I've heard of people doing that, or if you're just tone shaping before going into an amp or something. So let us know in the comment section how you're using that specifically. That also brings up a series that I'm going to be introducing in 2022, which is Do Cheap Pedals Suck? And really, I don't mean to call any pedal cheap. You guys know my reviews. I tend to be positive about everything that I personally play through and review. So I think affordable pedals can be very, very functional, and I like to highlight them, especially products from companies like Joyo, who I think we've all at some point had some kind of product like that, whether it was directly from a company like Joyo or others out there in the market. And I'd like to, you know, shed some light on some of those products here on this channel. So I'll be introducing some of those products here very, very soon. This next submission came from Instagram as well, from David Fernandez. And David, this is a hefty pedal board. You take the cake here on just having, first of all, a pedal board packed to the brim, but at the same time extremely functional. You've pretty much got like the whole line of Jackson Audio pedals. You have the Bloom, the Asabi, the Golden Boy, one of their fuzz pedal. You've got a Benson preamp. You have both a HX Stomp and that HX Effects from line 6, which is really, really great. You also then cheap out on your reverbs and delays. I'm assuming you're using, you know, some reverb from the Eventide, and your delays are coming from the Volante. Wow, just a lot going on. I would assume also that you have a very strategic setup here. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. We could probably do a whole episode on your pedal board alone, but it looks phenomenal. Thank you so much for submitting this, David. This next submission came via email from Taylor. Taylor submitted his pedal board and his amp, that Supro. I have to tell you something. I've never actually tried a Supro amp before. I've always felt like I would connect with a Supro amp, but I just never had the opportunity to try one. You obviously also have the HX Stomp, which gives you the opportunity to maybe just use the effects there, or maybe split your signal like a nice stereo, or maybe just if you don't feel like carrying an amp, you have it covered. So great versatility on this board. You have the Mini Wah, which I absolutely love, from Dunlop. You have a Mini Ego compressor from Wampler. You've got the Archer, so you've got all these really, really great tones covered. Because of the angle, it's hard for me to see everything that you got going on, but these pedals look really, really great. And you've got like the typical setup where I know for a fact that you're getting amazing tones. One thing to point out here is this Jet Micro MIDI controller. These became very popular over the last few years, especially when using them with the HX Stomp. They're the size of like your average aux switch, but they goes beyond aux functionality. It's MIDI, so you can literally control a lot of the functionality of the HX Stomp with that very, very small switch. So it's definitely something to look into if you have never entertained that and you are a HX Stomp user. This next submission comes from Preston Jones on Instagram as well. Preston sent me a very, very nice and tidy rig. You've got a Tidy Whitey, which is a very underrated compressor by JHS. You've got the Mini Volume pedal, love it. The Asabi, which is basically in the Jackson Audio world, not much different from any of the overdrives that he's released. They're just slightly different in terms of tone. This one pushes probably a little more than the average overdrive that he has, as it is catered to be more of a distortion pedal, but still can clean up very, very well and can be used very much like an overdrive sound. That entire top row of effects is killing right now, and I know you're getting really great sweet tones out of there. But out of all of this, the thing that has got my attention the most recently is that Walrus Audio ACS1. I've just been hearing a lot of good friends of mine love that product, and I have my eye on it, you know, though I can't necessarily justify like replacing an HX Stomp with it, because the HX Stomp does so much more than just amps and cabs. But man, that's such an interesting product for it being as small as it is, and so many people are getting very, very good tones from it and are happy with it. So I think that's my main question for you, is how are you liking that product, and is it suiting your needs, and do you feel like it's hitting home for you in comparison to actually using an amp? Very, very much interested in your opinion. This next submission comes from Hector via Instagram as well. This is another person who has incorporated a head rush in their rig. A head rush essentially was created to be like a self-monitor for someone who uses direct out options like the HX Stomp or others on the market. That way you can have an amp-like feel and a vibe without actually having an amp. It's also a really good way to monitor, meaning like if you don't have a studio style setup but you're trying to get tones out of your HX Stomp, having a head rush will get you the closest sound to actual reality, what it will sound like coming out of a sound system, for example. So definitely a good option when it comes to monitoring your direct outputs like the HX Stomp. Again, a very, very familiar looking pedal board for me personally. The one pedal that sticks out to me is the Source Audio Collider, I think it's called, the delay and reverb in one. For me, I'm big on delays and reverb. Sometimes those combo style units don't get the job done for me, but Source Audio, come on, it has to be good. But I don't know anything about it, so let me know in the comment section your thoughts on it. Are you happy with the tones that you're getting? Does it satisfy all of your reverb and delay needs, or are you also pulling delays and reverbs from the HX Stomp? Hector also uses one of those jet micros, as you can see. I'm sure he's controlling MIDI on the HX Stomp as well. So very, very cool setup. Thank you so much, Hector. This next one comes from my boy Shaun Gilbert via Instagram. If you guys don't know, Shaun actually was the winner of the giveaway that I had when I hit 1,000 subscribers, so shout out to you, Shaun. Shaun has an amazing pedal board as well. He's got the Duelist Overdrive, which is really, really nice, a Petty John, a JHS Morning Glory. He's also using an MC6 to control, I'm sure, the entire top row, because I think that all of those pedals are controlled via MIDI. Shaun, I have literally no complaints about this rig. Somewhat of a unique one, because I don't think that the pedals that you've chosen are the most sort of common in terms of the worship pedalboard community or the pedalboard community as a whole. So I like these choices. They're different, but I know for a fact are very, very good. So shout out to you for having a somewhat unique setup at the same time. Killer, beautiful, and it's very neat as well. So shout out. Thank you. This next submission came from James via Instagram. The first thing that I look at when I see your rig, obviously, is that NRG pedal. I'm actually not too familiar with it. I've seen pedals like this before, but I don't know what they are or what they sound like. I'm gonna assume that it's your overdrive. It looks like a 2-in-1, or maybe a drive and a boost in one. Very, very cool looking though. The other thing too is that Mini Timmy. It is my understanding that Timmy was bought out and is now being mass produced. So I would like to know your opinion if you feel that Timmy has still the same vibe. So many people fell in love with that pedal years ago for its transparency. I do like the fact that it has a smaller footprint now and it's being made into a mini pedal. So that's something that I'm interested in hearing your opinions on. You've got a Cali 76, a POG. Man, just really, really great stuff here. You've got, of course, the Strymon stuff. Really, really nice, man. Definitely no complaints about your pedal board. Looks like you're going stereo out of the HX Stomp as well, which is really, really cool. And of course, we barely even talked about your shoes. Just kidding. That Duesenberg, man. Wow. Very, very beautiful, pretty guitar. I've been on a guitar journey lately, man. I've been looking at guitars like really wanting some sort of a new guitar, and those Duesenbergs have really gotten my attention. I'm kind of jealous, but thank you so much for the submission. Moving on, this next submission came via email from Andy Lopez. Andy, you sent me a full packed pedal board here that I'm jealous of. You've got a Benson preamp, a Brothers Overdrive, you've got the Protein, you've got a ton of MIDI options here. You also have a Tidy Whitey from JHS, a Rival Overdrive. You've got a ton of overdrive options, not to mention an amazing setup here, and you're using an Iridium. In my particular case, I like that I can use the HX Stomp for a lot of different things, but because you have so much covered already tonally, even with delays and reverbs, I can totally understand why you would want to go the Iridium route versus maybe an HX Stomp or a Kemper route. Amazing rig. Thank you so much for your submission. This next submission also via email from Austin. Austin, a beautiful, nice, small rig. I like that. You guys know I like compact rigs here. Somewhat modest, but at the same time, not really, right? Because if you're counting, I count at least 3 overdrives on there, plus you got an HX Stomp, the Big Sky, that nice different looking Deep 6 compressor. Very, very beautiful rig there. The D1, nice. I can't complain about that. And then you have a Disaster Area MIDI controller, which is kind of like, in my opinion, somewhat what people are doing with the Jet Micro, but you're doing it with the Disaster Area, which is essentially a MIDI controller that allows you to control a lot of the MIDI effects that you could find on the HX Stomp, but also the Big Sky, which is really, really nice. So great choices, love the rig. Nice. This next rig actually comes from someone who was already featured on this channel. He sent me a pedal board update. This is from Aaron Sanchez. Aaron was so like kind of jealous of all of the compact pedal boards that he was seeing on my channel and thought, well, now that's it, I have to downsize. And it looks like it forced him to pick pedals that he was favoring more than others and downsize and make a nice small compact rig. Deep 6 compressor into the Protein, you have a Benson preamp, you have a Juliana, you have a Timeline, a Big Sky, ACS1 from Walrus Audio for your amping, I'm assuming. So very, very beautiful rig, not to mention that pedal topper on your volume pedal. Yeah, very, very jealous. You chose wisely. Thank you for submitting. Now I feel like I need to redo my pedal board, even though I just did mine, but yours looks so nice. I'm jealous. Thank you. And lastly, this submission came via Instagram just yesterday, I believe, or the day before, and it came from the Instagram handles Romans818. The pedal topper, though, you're not really showing it fully. I recognize it. I love that pedal topper. It's like a little cat and then it turns into a lion, right? Obviously insinuating low volume, high volume. Great, looks beautiful. The MXR Dynacomp, that was my first compressor pedal, and it was my introduction to purposeful compression on guitar. A game changer for me. That's where I realized like that I really enjoyed and loved compression, and I enjoyed using it as an always on versus turning it on and off. So I have a special connection with the MXR Dynacomp and really enjoy seeing it on people's pedal boards. You've got a Julia, you have a Prism, which I really love seeing on pedal boards. That's like an always on style kind of boost pedal. A Morning Glory again, a Kilt. Those are two very, very popular overdrives that have been on people's pedal boards for a long time. So shout out to JHS, man. You guys killed it. Love it. And of course, the Strymon Top Row, Timeline into a Big Sky, into a Strymon Iridium, which is really nice. Great job. Great, tidy, compact, but killer pedal board. Well, that wraps up part 3 of me reacting to your pedal boards. Again, I cannot say enough how thankful and grateful I am for each and every one of you, all of you who actually submit pedal boards for me to look at. It's amazing. If you're still interested in me reacting to your pedal board, maybe you've sent it over and I haven't gotten to it yet, send it again. Maybe you have an updated rig like Aaron Sanchez did, or maybe you just never sent it over. This is going to be an ongoing series for me, so I still want to react to all of your pedal boards. So make sure you send it in to me via email at jcruzproject@gmail.com, or find me on social media at jcruzproject, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You could direct message me there with photos of your rig. I've got some more things planned with this series. You see, I've made a lot of friends throughout the years, and I'd like to have them on the channel to show me their pedal boards as well. So don't be surprised if we see some special guests on the channel very soon, showing off some of their very beautiful and immaculate pedal boards as well. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to do all of the things that help this channel grow. Like this video, comment, and subscribe below. Hit the bell notification icon so you get an alert every single time I upload a video. Also, don't forget to check out some of the affiliate links in the description box below. These links kick back a little bit to the channel and certainly will help. You can also click the donation link in the description box below. That allows you to directly donate to the channel without any kind of middleman. That would be greatly appreciated as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next week.